Hey, future Matt. So on the railway, at least, it's been a week of doing very little. I managed to put some decals on this B30-7, so at least it doesn't look terrible. I started moving the top bits of the helix over, which I'll go into more detail on next week, but most importantly, I got paid. So, what did I do? I went out and bought some coal cars, I bought a fuel depot, and most importantly, I bought a guitar. I obviously don't know how to play yet. I mean, I'm just sitting around thinking, you know what I need to do? I need to learn a new instrument. Have you ever felt that way? No? Okay, that's fine. Anyways, this is like a bottom-end Stratocaster, and I really like the way it sounds. Which is a really awesome way to spend a first paycheck, I think. Plus, I also got an effects thing, which means I can all I want. Meanwhile, on the job, I'm getting more and more satisfied with the particular trade that I chose. Compared with all the other trades, electricians, at least on this site, are just the most agreeable people. You've got the drywallers, which will live paycheck to paycheck to buy booze and throw stuff around because they just get paid by each piece of drywall that they put in. You've got the plumbers, and they're pretty cool. And the laborers, and they're just angry all the time. I finally sent away my broken 16 to 35 to be repaired, which I've been waiting to do for almost a year! Basically, the story behind that, we were biking on the old abandoned Columbia and Western, where I'm modeling, and the lens was in Adrian's saddlebag, which broke. And so we were gliding down the trail at 30 kilometers an hour, and my lens just hits the ground. Split right in half at the base. There's a picture here. Most depressing thing you've seen all week. Anyways, that's a $350 repair, and that is completely lame. But now I've finally paid for it, and I'm going to have my great lens back. So now that I've finally got that out of the way, it's a lot better because now that I have a job, I'm suddenly getting hired for photography stuff, which I was completely unable to subsist on for the past year. I turned down a wedding because I was too scared to book it, because I had no idea how my job would go. But I did get another wedding for this summer, which I'm really looking forward to, because they seem to like my style, and therefore they should like my pictures. Later on, I've got a pretty big event that I'll be covering, and so that's, you know, a couple $1,000s right there in addition to the paycheck. Speaking of paychecks, I've done the math, and if I save 60 to 65% of each after-tax paycheck, I should be able to buy a house within 30 months. Not outright, of course, but with enough down payment to get a good mortgage, and since I'll have enough raises by that time, thank you Alberta Apprenticeship Board, I will be able to afford a very livable home. So the plan for the weekend was to watch lots of Supernatural to get caught up, so when we go to Comic-Con we'll actually know what happened. I bought a Blu-ray player and the Dark Knight trilogy. Unfortunately, we don't have time to watch The Dark Knight Rises because today is double church. It's Palm Sunday, and for the first time ever, we have two services, which means I'm here and then suddenly I'm not, which is lame and terrible, and the music is good, but I'm not sure anyone's really truly happy to be there. On the other hand, I'm taking some of my friends out afterwards for a few drinks on me to celebrate that I have a job and a steady paycheck. Hooray! Of course, now is the time that I start thinking about upcoming events. Like in the third weekend of April, Supertrain is coming to town. It's Canada's largest model railway show, and for the third year in a row, I have a booth there. The first year went really well. I barely paid off my investment, which was huge. The second year went terribly. I barely paid off my investment, which was small. So the third year, when I'm making absolutely no investment, hopefully will go even better. If not, luckily I get paid the day previously, so I will just be able to blitz it and buy all the F7s I want. In the meantime, I guess I'll just have to deal with angry people on the site. It's quite funny trying to deal with them sometimes. I'm just sitting there with a wagon full of stuff in the middle of a hallway, waiting for an elevator, and a guy walks over, just blunders right into it, turns around and shouts, "Jesus! Watch where you're going!" Okay, that's great. I'm standing here still and you're telling me to watch where I'm going. Oh well. Anyways, that's all for this week. I'm going to find out exactly how to learn to play this instrument, and I will get back to you when I can do more than go. I do have a question for you, future Matt. Since it's been a year, have you gotten laid off? Are your financial plans still on track? Have you learned how to play the guitar? Please tell me you have. How did the wedding go? Let's see some photos. So long for now.